Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another FM17 No, FM17 team guide. And today we are looking at my beloved club, Liverpool. As you can tell from my Scouse accent before I get comments. Yeah, I've had it all. Right, so what we're going to do with this team guide is we're going to look through the philosophies of the club, how they want us to play, the boardroom, what they expect us to achieve this season, and then we're going to look at transfer budgets, wage budgets. We're going to have a quick look at staff to see what needs improving, and the team report, and then we're also going to look through the under-18s, the under-23, see if there's any little gems that are coming through, and then we're going to look through the squad as a whole. We're going to look through what areas need strengthening, what players you might be able to sell off to make some money to improve the squad. And then we're also going to talk about how difficult the challenge is and how much fun this save would be. So first things first, we're going to look at the philosophies. So they've got a number, and that is to play possession football, attacking football, sign young players and develop young players. Now, that is quite a lot of philosophies, but I think most FM players like playing attacking football if they can. Possession football, we're a good side, so that makes sense. And young players and develop young players is great, because that's how I play it anyway. But that's definitely something to keep in mind that you need to stick to. Next up, we're going to look at the board, and what do they expect us to achieve this season? So the Premiership, they expect us to qualify for the Europa League, right? Or the Euro Cup. The Euro Cup, I'm happy with that. That's fine by me. FA Cup semi-final, and the League Cup they don't care about. I think that's very, very much doable. I think the team they've got, they do need some strength, which we'll go through shortly. But I think that's pretty achievable. Next up, we're going to look at finances. £40 million and about £470,000 in wages. Very, very nice. We'll keep that in mind when we go looking through the squad. As for staff members, this is one of the better teams for staff. They're all above average. We could definitely improve the scouting department, probably needs the most work. Here's the team report. I'm not going to sort of go through each of these. You can pause the video if you want to watch it. Next up, we're going to look at the under-18s. Is there any little gems here? Is there any cheeky gems? We're just not going to go for everybody. We're just going to look at the sort of top guy. And in this, it's Ben Woodburn. Attacking midfielder, striker, 16 years old, possible 4.5-star potential. He's Welsh, which is, it's nice. Very pacey for a youngster. Good finishing. So he's got the basics there. He needs a lot of work, but he could become a very, very good player. In the under-23s, let's see how good this under-23 squad is. It's quite large, and there's quite a few pretty rubbish players down here, so I'd probably bin them off, get rid of them as soon as possible. And our star man here, the possible, is Cameron Brannigan, who is a central midfielder, 20 years old now, so he needs to start improving. I would probably loan him out the first season. He does start off available for loan. Possible 4.5-star potential and a decent all-round playmaker. I think he's decent. Like I said, get him out on loan or get him tutored at the very least. We've also got the likes of Shea Ojo. He's only rated possible 4-star here, but I think he could be very good. Also, we've got the likes of Lazar Markovic, who is not a great player, but he's worth quite a bit of money. So at the end of the season, sell him off. We can't recall him, but I sell him at the end of the season. Hopefully, you might make 15-20 million out of him. And then we've got the likes of Joe Gomez, another good, solid, young central defender. Can also fill in at right and left back, which is nice. And a bunch of other decent players. Let's have a look at the main squad. I'm not going to go through every player in great detail, but we're just going to have a look and see the sort of strength in depth. So first off in the goalkeeper positions. So we've got Simon Mignolet. We all know about him. And 28 years old now, and he's sort of coming into his peak. 3-star. He's decent. And then we've got Loris Karius, who's our younger goalkeeper, who looks very good. He's possible 3.5-star potential. It's okay as the goalkeepers go. We've got plenty of money, so we might look to transfer. We'll see what other weaknesses we've got, and then we'll see if it's something we want to improve upon. So first off, we're going to look at right back. So our first choice right back is Nathaniel Clyde. He's absolutely solid, decent all-rounder, decent going forward, lots of pace, good at tackling. Perfect right back. That you don't need to worry about that whatsoever. His backup is basically Kevin Stewart, another young player that came through from, Tottenham a few years ago. Plays best as a defensive midfielder, but can fill in at right back. He's okay. I'd either sell him if you don't need the backups, or just keep him around for a season or two, just as a young English player that you can play in the cup, or just if you have a horrific injury crisis. Apart from that, you're kind of screwed with regards to right back. James Milner can do a very good job. In my Liverpool save, which I have on my channel, I retrained James Milner to be a right back. He learns it very quickly. He's very good at it, and he's my perfect backup right back because he sits on the bench and he can pretty much fill in anywhere. So I'm not too worried about that, but you could go for a right back if you wanted someone young as a backup. Next up are centre back options. So first off, we've got Ragnar Klavan, the new guy, very experienced, 112 caps for Estonia, 32 years old, and a very decent backup. Really good physicals. Very happy with him. Then we got Dejan Lovren, much improved this season through Klopp. A very solid centre back, valued at £20 million. He's wanted. You can sell him for about 30-40 million if you're so inclined. Then we got Sacco, superb centre back, lovely. We've got Joel Matip, and again, superb centre back. It's actually, even though in real life they're struggling defensively, those three centre backs with Klavan as your fourth choice is pretty damn solid. Next up, we've got Thiago Laurie. I'd probably just bin him off, try and get some money for him, maybe 5 million. He's never going to really make it. And you've got 4 decent centre backs there. Very, very nice. You can also use the likes of Emre Can if you had an injury crisis. He's still a very good centre back if need be. So I'd leave the centre backs, to be honest, first season anyway. I think we're fine. Left back position, I totally forgot because it's Alberto Moreno. Alberto Moreno in the game is okay. He's decent, right? I just don't like him in real life, therefore I sold him. But he's perfectly fine. I don't think we need to sort of change him. Klavan is the only backup fullback who's much more defensively, but he can play fullback quite well. We'll talk about how we strengthen this squad in a minute. Next up, we've got James Milner moving into central midfield. Really versatile player. I love having players like this on the bench that can play anywhere. Like I said, retrained him as a right back to be my backup right back. Next up, we've got Lucas Leiva, who's a defensive midfielder. You can still get a bit of money for him if you wanted to sell him, but I do use a halfback in my current formation on my save, and he's a really good sort of backup to Emre Can, who is a sensational young player, only 22 years old. I play him as a halfback because of the weird tactic I play, but he's very, very versatile. Pretty much can play anywhere equally. Just really no weaknesses in his game. Just a solid player. You can sell him for a lot of money if you're so inclined. Then we've got Jordan Henderson, who splits opinion in real life, but in the game he's very, very good. Just a really good, but I play him as a box-to-box midfielder. He pops up with the odd goals. He's good defensively as well. Just a really good all-round player. Definitely keep him. And then as a young option, we've got Marko Grujic, who's pretty decent. He's a little bit underrated in this game. I think this guy could be a superstar, but he's a decent backup. He can play cup games. He's versatile again as well, so that's really, really nice. And there's a couple of other central midfield options, but we'll go through them as we go through the wingers because they can play everywhere. So central midfield, pretty good. You've got your likes of Emre Can and Henderson as your central midfielders. You've got defensive midfielders in Leiva and Can. A nice little mix. Milner fills in anywhere. I think that's pretty solid. So next up, we have Sadio Mane, new signing from Southampton, 34.5 million squidlets, and he is pretty damn good. I really enjoyed using him in my save. He has got injured quite a lot, but I don't know if that's just an injury proneness thing. Or I'm just getting unlucky. I think it's just I'm getting unlucky at the moment. But he is very good. He's scored. He's got plenty of assists. He's an out-and-out winger. Really decent player. Next up, we've got another new signing, Gini Wijnaldum. Not a massive fan of this guy. He's a decent squad player because he is so versatile. Plays best as a central midfielder or behind the number 9. No real weaknesses in his game, but nothing outstanding. You can't sell him, obviously, because we just bought him for 23 million. But decent squad player. Then you've got the much improved Adam Lallana, and He is pretty damn beastly. This is bullshit, by the way. Every week he seems to beat the record for the amount of running he does in a game. This needs to be fixed. But other than that, a very, very good player. Again, another versatile player. Can play anywhere in midfield. 3.5 star. In his peak of his powers at the moment. Very, very good player. Next up, we've got Roberto Firmino. Superb player. He pretty much plays well wherever I've played him. I've played him on the left as an inside forward. I've played him as a shadow striker. I've played him as a false 9 up front. And he's done really well. Pretty damn good everywhere I've played him. Very good player. Still only 24. He will improve. Definitely keep hold of him. Next up in the midfield department, we got this kiddie called Philip Coutinho, or before he got his haircut, I used to call him Frodo Baggins because he had the Frodo Baggins haircut. Probably the sort of best player at the club, pretty much. I'm still, totally could, he's a very good player. I'm still trying to work out where best to play him. For a while, I played him as an advanced playmaker. I've also tried him as an inside forward. He just wasn't getting involved in the games as much. I don't use an attacking midfielder option. I'm actually retraining him as a advanced playmaker on attack in central midfield, just because I want him to get a bit more involved, and he has done, and he's played really well. So that could be a possibility, but definitely keep hold of Coutinho. He's very, very good. Next up, we have sick note himself, Daniel Sturridge. Now, it's an interesting one. It's always a gamble. He's valued at 35 million. You could probably cash in on him and get some decent money, or you can play him, and he's a decent player, and you run the risk of him getting horrifically injured, because that happens a lot with him. Me personally, in my save, I didn't play him that much just because I wasn't playing with a poacher. It was only later on I started using a false 9. By then he was unhappy. He didn't score that many goals for me when he did play, so eventually I did move him on. But depending on the style of your play, he could be very, very good. Then we got Danny Ings. Danny Ings is a very good player as well. 23 years old, possible 3.5 star potential. Good striker, a very versatile striker. I found him best used early on. I used him as a defensive forward, like that Jamie Vardy role, chasing down balls, closing down. And because he's sort of so well-rounded as a player, he was very good in all those roles. But unfortunately, I eventually ended up playing Divock Origi and Firmino, rotating that false 9 position, and they seemed to be doing the best for me. Divock Origi, just a superb player in the making. I'm keeping him. He's going to be amazing. Still only 21. 5-star possible potential. Look, he could be a world beater, this kid, and so that's what we're trying to do with him. So overall, pretty damn strong squad, as you'd expect. Remember, we're looking for European football, so can we achieve that with this squad? 100% yes. The fact that we've got £40 million to spend and a crap ton in wages means that we can really improve it. Let's have a quick look. So Thiago Lloris, I'm selling. Goodbye, Thiago. In my game, I sold Alberto Moreno. That's personal preference more than anything, because I don't like him in real life. He's actually decent in the game, but I did buy Rodriguez, and he's been superb. And pretty solid central midfield, pretty solid centre backs. My money would either go on. I'd probably just get in a young right back option to be back up, just so you got a bit more depth. You do need a left back option, so either go for a Gea or a Rodriguez or a Hector to be your main left back, or either that or sign a youngster like Sessegnon from Fulham, who can take over in a couple of years from Moreno, but Moreno will be your initial first choice. My initial way that I played this game was that I tried to sell Mignolet, nobody wanted it, but I bought in a goalkeeper, and that was Timo Horn. I bought Timo Horn because he has a £7.75 million release clause, if I remember rightly, and I rotate between Karius and Timo Horn, and they're both doing pretty well. You could go even bigger and try and get the problem with Liverpool is that you have a decent team, but you have no European football. I mean, it's very hard to buy players that actually improve your squad. So what I've basically ended up doing is signing really good prospects for the future. I think this squad is good enough to achieve European football, so therefore keep it pretty much as it is, maybe replace one or two, but get some players in. Reece Nelson I got from Arsenal, who's been outstanding for a 16-year-old. Sessegnon from Fulham. Players like that you know are going to become really, really decent players in a couple of years. That's basically what I've done. As for formations, it's relatively easy. I kind of went with a sort of Klopp-esque tactic. I've gone... Generally, I play something like this. At the moment, I could load it up, but that would make far too much sense, so I'll just make it. So I play Sadio Mane in the right as a winger. He gives us the width, whips balls in. We've got... That's not a target, man. I don't want to fucking target. It's kind of the opposite of what I want. So I have a false 9 in Firmino or Divock Origi, which I'm still playing about with the roles. Inside forward is going to be Origi or Coutinho or Firmino. I rotate quite a lot, still trying to work out the best sort of tactic. I then have a halfback, which is Emre Can or Lucas, basically meaning that he's going to drop in and form like a central 3. And then I have very, very attacking wing-backs like this. Because Klein and Moreno both really good at going forward, so they support the attack. And then I have Henderson as a box-to-box. That's box to box, and then I'm playing about with this, but currently I have a advanced playmaker on attack, and that's Coutinho. So something like this I think would be a really nice start for you guys, sort of similar to real life really, how Liverpool play. So hope you enjoyed that, guys. Let me know in the comments the signings you'd make. Are you going to sell Moreno? And more interestingly, are you going to sell Sturridge or play him and hopefully stays fit? That would be an interesting one. And sort of formations you play, any tips that you can give other people watching this video in the comments is greatly appreciated, because this is just my point of view. So let me know your point of view, who's decent in this squad, who's undervalued or overvalued, who you're selling, all that good stuff. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Please leave a like if you did, that really helps me out, and subscribe if you're new to the place for all the FM17 content, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.